comment below, subscribe. If you got the time, we appreciate that love. And for this, yeah, you read the title. Let's get into it, right? Let's get this going. You read the title. How do we say this? We were coming on for something totally different tonight that we're going to do for, live fight chats. You know how we get down impromptu tonight. And the news out of nowhere for the likes of Floyd, Money Mayweather, and Mike Tyson signing for, I believe it's still going to be an exhibition bout at this time. All the details aren't out there yet, but it's going to be 2026. Floyd Mayweather, Mike Tyson signed for a 2026 bout, exhibition at this point from what we're hearing. You know how they get down. It could turn into something totally left field. But for right now, it's an exhibition fight. Like we said, we're coming into something else totally tonight. We're going to actually cover the likes of Canelo, Crawford fight week. And we still might, we'll touch a little bit on this video, but we'll probably still come back a little later tonight for its own standalone video for the likes of Crawford and Canelo fight week as we're heading into that, right? It's building up. We're about there. We're about a week and a few days out from the fight, so we're going to get to that. But we were remiss if we didn't hit this big topic that just came out, right? The Floyd Mayweather, Mike Tyson, 2026, going down apparently in Las Vegas, Nevada. Potentially could be a scrap of the ages, literally, of the ages, right? I believe Mike is still, 58, pushing 59, and then Floyd also himself about 48, 49, so about 10 years difference in age. Obviously, both of these men feel like they still got it, at least to get in the ring for an exhibition-type fight. Both of these men still like they want to get this kind of payday. Salute to them, man. Salute to them, I guess, for still getting to the bag. But let's get into it. Number one, I'm not sure what the hell boxing is doing anymore. On one end, we're getting to the big fights, right? The big scraps. We got the likes of Crawford, Canelo Alvarez getting it on next week. Then you got the likes of Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather. And let's talk about this. This is a classic page out of Floyd Money Mayweather's book. He does this all the damn time, especially when he was active. He would wait for a big fight weekend, and I kid you not, he will wait for a Canelo fight weekend, more than likely, to announce some type of event, some type of fight, try to steal it away. It's a classic tactic from the likes of not just Floyd, but PBC as a whole. So anyways, we're a week out from Canelo, Crawford, and Floyd to his same tactics. Salute to that brother, because he is TBE, one of the best to ever do it business-wise and so forth. Waits a week out, drops this news, which everybody knows is going to be big, whether you want to call it a gimmick or not. Right now, it's going to be an exhibition fight between him and Mike Tyson, 2026, early 2026, what they're saying. Battle of the ages, again. You already know what that does to the fight fans, especially to the casuals. Everybody knows who the hell Mike Tyson is. Hey, what's going on, Jamerson? Everybody knows who Mike Tyson is. Everybody knows who Floyd Money Mayweather is. No, even if they haven't been fighting in years. Yeah, we saw the fiasco with Jake Paul last year, you name it. But to wait until Canelo Crawford fight week, to pull this thing off, nasty work from the likes of Floyd Money Mayweather. And for the fight not to be until way out, right? That's nasty work. Appreciate the love, Jameson. Appreciate the love. Hey, somebody, what's going on? Hola. The fact that he waited to do this, if I was Canelo Alvarez, no kidding. Appreciate the love. Appreciate that. Most definitely, I appreciate that. Thank you, somebody. If I was Canelo Alvarez, I'll feel very disrespected right now, because Floyd has done this before to him, and at this point, it's clearly intentional. He could have waited till after the fight was done. I appreciate it. Yeah, we're trying to get there. You know, we growing bit by bit. You know, it's a hobby for us. We appreciate it. We rocking out, and everybody that's been rocking with us. You know, hit that like button. By the way, it's free. Comment below. Subscribe. It's your boy Casual. We rock out impromptu is a hobby for us, man. We got plenty of videos, by the way. We were getting on tonight to talk about the Canelo Alvarez, Terrence Crawford early predictions. Hey, Maddie, what's going on? We were talking about the early predictions for Canelo Alvarez and everything like that. And Terrence Crawford. So we're still going to do that a little bit later in the video, but we'll probably come back and give it his own video dedicated to Canelo Alvarez and to Terrence Crawford, keys to victory, how these two men can get up in there. Appreciate it, Maddie. Appreciate that like, most definitely. Hit that like button, it's free. Hit that like button, it's free. Comment below if you got the time, and subscribe as always. But here we go with Floyd Money Mayweather, man. Shout out to boxing for just keep throwing things in the air. How do y'all feel about this, by the way? We've got Mike Tyson, Floyd Money Mayweather, signed 2026. Announcing this the week before Canelo Alvarez. Thank you, Maddie. I really appreciate it. Definitely appreciate that love. And by the way, another thing I do before we get into this, if y'all guys got topics you like for me to cover, drop those in the chat as well. We usually make videos as well for subscribers, everybody that has certain topics or anything you want to cover from a fighter standpoint or the sport of boxing, just let me know. But anyway, all right, let's get into it. Floyd Money Mayweather. Floyd Money, Big Money Mayweather pulls the tricks out of his hat. Week before, actually a week and a couple of days before the Canelo Alvarez card. If you've seen the title, you've seen the imagery, right? Yes, it is real. It is not a hoax. It is real. Signed, sealed, delivered. Floyd Money Mayweather, Mike Tyson getting it on. Yo, what's going on, Rush? Oh, hey, OB, what's going on? Appreciate you. It's late over at your time. Well, kind of early, actually, now that I think about it. It's late over here. Appreciate you for rocking out with us. It's a sad story that was going on. This is Canelo Alvarez, Terrence Crawford's week, right? This is their time frame. It should be focused on them. Big Netflix fight, big Netflix card. It is free. And here we go with Floyd Money Mayweather, Mike Tyson. I can't let Mike off of it either because he's part of this mess. With that said, is it going to be something worth seeing? Yeah, I mean, we're going to watch the fight. Let's be honest. We're going to watch Mike Tyson, Floyd Money Mayweather, two of the biggest names in boxing ever do it. Definitely from casual standpoint to hardcore standpoint, known figures in the sport of boxing, right? Mike Tyson, one of the well-known heavyweights, not the greatest heavyweight of all time by accolades or anything like that, but one of the most feared men in boxing, one of the most famous men in boxing as far as the heavyweight division going. And obviously Floyd Money Mayweather. TBE, one of the best to ever do it, getting straight to it, right? Getting to the money, getting to the bag, and taught a lot of these guys how to grow themselves as a brand. So salute to them, salute to both brothers. But where I stop to respect that is waiting a week before Canelo Alvarez, Terrence Crawford. This is a big fight for boxing, all right? This is a big hardcore event going down on Netflix. We're finally getting something right for ourselves. We're finally growing the brand of boxing, bringing two big cultures together, right? Mexican community along with the African-American community in the U.S. And then more importantly, just bringing the world together to see two Hall of Fame fighters in their primes, or at least close to their primes, get it on for undisputed. One man jumping up 2 weight classes to challenge himself, and the other is about to solidify himself as one of the greatest Mexican boxers to ever walk the face of this earth. That is something to be seen. That is a big event. That's something we want to push for the sport of boxing, right? But here we go. Mike Tyson and Floyd. Is this a bigger fight than what we're about to see this coming next weekend? No, not by accolades, not by, really not by anything, by the general means of the sport of boxing, right? We all know what this is. We've seen Gervonta Tank Davis, Jake Paul. Maybe the fight still goes on for them in November 14th down in Atlanta, Georgia. Gimmick fight. That's for entertainment. And then I'm going to say the same thing for Mike Tyson and Floyd. That's a hell of an entertainment fight. Salute to them for getting to the money. Salute to them for getting to the bag. Salute to them for still staying active and finding different ways to get paid. But at the same time, it is what it is. This is a pure gimmick fight. Now, I think I like it better than Tank Davis and Jake Paul because this actually might be a decent little fight. We'll see. Both men know how to actually fight. Both men know how to actually give a true exhibition in a low-level sparring match and still make it entertaining. I'm hoping so anyways. 58, 59-year-old Mike Tyson against a 48, 49-year-old Floyd Money Mayweather. Obviously, the weight classes are way out of line. But it can turn into an entertaining boxing event. Hey, I appreciate that, somebody. Most definitely. It can turn into an entertaining scrap, an entertaining fight between these two gentlemen. But I'll leave it there. That's all it is entertainment. We got real boxing coming up in a week and a half. And we're talking about Canelo Alvarez, Terrence Bud Crawford. That's where the attention of the sport needs to be right now, because honestly, this Terrence Bud Crawford, Canelo Alvarez fight can make or break us as boxing moving forward to non-pay-per-view events, growing the sport to getting advertisements and becoming a true free sport. This is a test run. If you don't know, this is a test run for the sport of boxing. Getting on Netflix at this point, this type of fight, the kind of money behind it, that's where our attention needs to be. Seeing active fighters, future Hall of Famers, get it on, pushing the sport of boxing, and trying to get us to a new level of a non-pay-per-view model that can still grow the brand, still grow the boxing, and still get the fighters paid. That's where we got to get to as a boxing community. This used to be the #1 sport, period, across the world. We're still growing. Coming back, it's actually growing, and by leaps and bounds, we're way better off than where we were about 10, 15 years ago. But there's still a lot of work to do. So we got to get to this Canelo, Terrence Bud Crawford scrap. Outside of what's going on with Floyd and Mike. Don't get me wrong, Floyd and Mike, I know what they're trying to do, bring eyeballs casually to the sport. But there's a way to do it. It could have been announced well after the Canelo Alvarez card, or even waited the day after. Even the day after, been respectful, but it is what it is. Anyways, hit that like button, it's free. Hit that like button, it's free. Comment below and subscribe if you got the time. It's your boy Cash Rep, Sunday Podcast. We're rocking out tonight. If you haven't heard, yes, Floyd, Mike Tyson, signed, sealed, delivered, 2026. It's making its round now across the circuit. All the details aren't out yet, if it's going to be exhibition or not. An exact venue right now, they're saying Las Vegas MGM. That's where they're going to try to lock it in at, as both men are famously known for pretty much having all their fights at the MGM, at least their big fights anyways, while they're in their prime. Mike Tyson ran it in the early 90s, mid 90s, and obviously Floyd Money Mayweather ran it from the 2000s on to the early 2010s. It is what it is. It's a good exhibition fight. Decent in age, better than what we're going to probably saw from the Jake Paul, Mike Tyson fight. Definitely better than we're going to see from Jake Paul and Gervonta Tank Davis. Pretty similar weight gap almost, but it is what it is. Anyways, that's what we got for you on the Mike Tyson and Floyd Money Mayweather. Now let's get to the real boxing, right? And I said we we're going to hit this real quick. We got Canelo Alvarez, Terrence Bud Crawford, right, coming up September 13, 2025. There's a lot of predictions floating around out there of what's going to happen to this fight. And we've even done a few breakdowns, a few keys to victory, right? But not a true prediction. Just keys to victory, how these two men can win their fights. Because this is how I kind of see it, right? It's a close fight. Either man can, at this point, really win the fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Bud Crawford. I do have it 60-40 favored Canelo. He is the man in that division. He is the bigger fighter, 168 pounds. That is his division. He should be the favorite. He better be the favorite, right? That's just how this thing goes. Terrence Bud Crawford's got a mountain to climb. He's jumping up two weight classes to take on not just a man in the 168-pound division. He's taking on the man, undisputed, top talent, mind you not, who is also a pound-for-pounder himself. This is something that hasn't really been done in years and ages, right? So, yeah, Canelo should be the favorite. But now a blowout favorite, I don't think so. I think 60-40 is respectful and realistic of the chances of these two men to win their fights. Now, for Canelo Alvarez, his chances to win this fight are obviously the 60%. But within that, what does he do to win this, right? I think regardless of whoever wins this fight, and I'm going to tell you my true prediction in a minute, but regardless who wins this fight, it's going to go all the way. You can see the odds. You can see just how both men fight. There's too many ways for them to win. This fight's going to decision, period. No matter who you think's going to win, no one's getting knocked out in this fight. We may see a knockdown. If somebody gets knocked down, I believe Terence Crawford gets knocked down by Canelo Alvarez. But other than that, it's going to be decision victory. I think Canelo Alvarez is going to implement the hook. He's obviously going to keep the high guard. That's just what he does. It's in his nature. But while he's in that high guard, I think he's going to speed up a little bit and not try to go for the knockout, meaning he's not going to plant his feet as much to deliver certain power shots that he likes to do. He's going to move and hook, and he's going to move and hook to stop the movement of, and more importantly, the angular movement and circular movement of Terence Buck Crawford. He's going to move and hook while he's moving. Try to capture him and corner him. Move him around where he wants him to go. Canelo Alvarez is a smart fighter. I know he gets a lot of, he's got power. That's all he's got is power. He's just, all he can do is punch, 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 and pot shot. That's more, there's way more to Canelo than that. He's not beating these guys just because he's got power. That's an add-on. That's a good thing to have. What Canelo really has is high ring IQ. What Canelo really has is patience, and he's smart in the ring, and he knows how to set traps. We focus too much on that power. The brother's got way more than that. He's got high ring IQ. Again, he knows how to punch with precision, but more importantly, he knows how to set traps and is a nasty counterpuncher. So what I expect Canelo to do, again, I don't think no one's getting knocked out, but what I expect Canelo to do is to meet fire with fire, meet IQ with IQ, and he's going to not plant his feet to deliver certain power shots. Not going for that knockout, at least not early. He's going to punch while he's moving, angle him, hook off while Crawford's trying to circle and move around. He's going to hook to that, hook to the side where he's trying to angle to. Even if it's a feint, throw him off and angle him back to where he wants him to go. He's going to try to corner the likes of Terence Buck Crawford between the neutral ropes, meaning the white corners. He's going to try to keep him there and keep him uncomfortable, keep him off balance again, but letting him get comfortable by not feeling the power shots. As we get later into the fight, as the fatigue starts to wear in, then you're going to see Canelo set them feet and try to hook to the body of Terence Buck Crawford, slow him down, wear him down a little bit later in that fight, and then you may see him try to go for the knockout or counter, as Terence Buck Crawford hasn't really felt that power yet. He wants to trick him into this thing again. Canelo has high ring IQ. If you watch his last few fights with Jaime Munguia, Edgar Berlanga, when did he catch him? Well, he caught Edgar kind of early, about round 3 or 4. But Jaime and a few others, he usually catching them late. He's letting them get comfortable, letting them think they can handle the power. And then the next thing you know, that good counter, he hits him with all he's got and puts him down. Now, he hasn't had a knockout since Caleb Plant, but that's okay. Again, I think he's a 168-pounder, but he's not a real 168-pounder. To me, Canelo Alvarez is really a 160-pound phenom, 160-pound champ that's good enough to be undisputed at 168 pounds. And that's why I think some of that power difference is happening. He's not really the natural bigger guy like that, but he's got good pop, good power, man. He can do his thing at that weight. So I said that to say this. Yeah, he hasn't had a knockout in a while, but if Terence Buck Crawford gets sloppy, Canelo has enough power to definitely knock out a smaller man, especially a man of his stature and size coming up to him in weight. Because really, like again, if you looked at Canelo's knockouts, they're really about 160 pounds and under, right? That's where he was really stopping guys, or guys who stepped up to him in 160 pounds, or like Billy Joe Sanders, who jumped up to the 168 pounds to give him that work, right? Billy Joe was really a 160-pounder, 154-pounder. Any guy the size of Canelo, he's stopping him, especially if he gets that good work on him and lands the right shots and tricks them into thinking they can handle his power. And Terence Buck Crawford could fall right into that trap, get lulled into thinking, oh, Canelo's not hitting as hard as he think he is, and later in that fight, counterpunch, he's down. Tries to get back into it, turns on that dog mentality that Crawford has, and Crawford gets sloppy when he goes into dog mode. Another knockdown and then potentially a knockout. That's how I see it for Canelo Alvarez. It's going to be the hook, ring management, keeping them in the neutral corners. Again, that's the white corners. Keeping them angled there. punching while moving. He's not going to set. He's not trying to go for that knockout early, lull him into a trap, and then eventually either knock him down, secure the unanimous decision victory, or if it presents himself, he will go for that knockout if the dog mentality for Crawford overwhelms himself, can't control himself, and gets sloppy. But with that said, I see a decision victory for Canelo Alvarez if he's going to manage it that way for either fighter, right? Now let's get into Terrence Bud Crawford. And before we get into Terrence, hit that like button. It's free. Comment below, subscribe if you got the time. It's your boy Casual Real. We're rocking out tonight. We were covering Floyd and Mike Tyson a little bit earlier. Now we on to the real boxing, Canelo and Terrence Bud Crawford. So with that said, if you heard me earlier, I said either fighter can win. And if they do win, I believe it's going to be by decision. Now let's get into Terrence Bud Crawford, right? We covered Canelo's. For Crawford, it's a little bit, he's got some work to do. He's got some things to do. Like I said, it's 60-40 favorite Canelo. For Crawford, he's got that dog mentality that we all talked about. He's got that what if factor. He's got that it factor, right? But for him, I watched a few of his things. I went back and watched tape on him. The footwork that I thought was there isn't really there for Terrence Bud Crawford. But it is enough to be faster than Canelo. But it's not enough to say this is going to be easy work. Kind of how like William Scold's footwork was fast to the point he was running. I'm not saying run, but I'm saying you got to be quick on your feet like a Lara to get out of the way of these punches that Canelo's going to hit. Crawford can't take too much damage from Canelo, so he's got to be able to be quick on his feet and move in and out of the pocket. I'm a little bit worried about that aspect, but I think he still will implement it good enough to stay out of harm's way. So for, again, Crawford to win this fight, it's going to start, with the jab, and particularly the jab to the body. Canelo has a bad habit. Number one is the high guard. Now, that's just how he is. That's how he fights, right? He gives up that body for the high guard, but that's because Canelo's body is strong, very strong. But here's the weakness. And Floyd exposed it, Lara exposed it, and kind of Bivol. Jabbing to the body of Canelo Alvarez makes him reset. He has a bad habit. Go watch his last few fights, especially against a jabber. Even Bivol, he made it work, but go watch the Floyd, go watch the Lara fight. Even go watch what Caleb Plant was doing. He was successful with it a little bit, but he was a little bit too tall to keep it going. When they jab to the body in the midsection of Canelo, right here, Canelo drops his hands to reset, especially if it's a good stiff jab to the body. And that's going to be the first key to success for Terrence Bud Crawford. Jab to that body, brother. Jab, stick it, move out the way. Don't admire your work. Just jab and keep going. Jab and keep going. Hook when you can. Do some body work. It's going to be dangerous because, again, Canelo's a master counterpuncher. But as you get him to reset and try to refigure where he wants to go, when he drops his hands for that split second, quick 1-2. Get out. Quick 1-2, get out. You're trying to steal points here. So the body work, body punch is obviously going to give you power shots. Even a jab to the body, right? Power shot. You're trying to win on the cards. Terrence ain't knocking out Canelo Alvarez, so let's get that out of here, right? But what he can do is overwhelm him with punches, which is my second key. Be active. He's got to be active and letting punches go in bunches with volume. And they got to be precise and defensively sound while he's doing it. I laugh because that's a hard task. To be active, throwing punches, and defensively sound at the same time is a tough task, especially against a Hall of Famer like Canelo Alvarez. But Crawford does have the skill set to do it. He might be fast enough to pull it off and get in there. But again, what I fear is Canelo's going to lull him into a trap and clip him. Make him get comfortable, get too greedy. And then when he gets greedy and gets caught, Crawford has another bad habit that when he gets hit, he turns into something else and he tries to get it off. This ain't the fighter to try to get it off with. Canelo's not the one. Because as soon as you try to get it off, Canelo will meet you there. Canelo, he's a dog too. He's a true warrior, man. He will go out in the middle of that ring win, lose, or draw, and slug it with you. In fact, Canelo prefers to slug it out. He's a true Mexican-style fighter, man. Like, he's got good ring IQ and everything that we talked about earlier, but at the core of him, he just wants to fight. And if Terrence tries to sit there and slug it out, that's not going to work well. We've seen Canelo slug it out, Triple G, over 36 rounds of boxing, of two men punching it out from start to finish for the most part. That's not going to fare too well for the likes of a Crawford. I admire him for his pride, for his work ethic, for his mentality. But sometimes you just can't do that with certain fighters. And where I'm going to get to the third point for Crawford is manage the dog, manage the greed, manage that activity, right? Get active, keep stable punches going. You got to keep hands on Canelo if you think you're going to win. But manage that dog mentality. Once you get clipped, because he's going to get clipped. He's going to get clipped by Canelo. This is a high-level fight. He's going to get hit, and he's going to get hit good. Manage how you take that punch and manage how much that dog comes out of you. Because if you let that dog come out too much, I guarantee you he'll get knocked out. He will get knocked out if he lets it out too much and just try to go blow for blow. If he managed the dog right and lets it out in spurts and just fights with the right intensity when he needs to, almost like a Manny Pacquiao did, fighting them spurts and stealing the round, like early on, in the middle, and definitely at the end of the fight end of the round to put a staple on it. That's the kind of dog you need, in and out. Would you say, Metaboy? Another Crawford weakness that he gets carried away and leaves smoke. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That dog, like, he will leave himself going open and take punches just to get one off. Canelo's the same way to a degree, where he will take a punch to get 3 or 4 off or land the right counter punch, but Canelo's chin is solid. His neck thick. It's built to take blows, man. Like, Canelo's built tough. He is built tough. He's built for that. He's built for the inside game. We're not too sure yet about Crawford. Now, with that said, again, jabbing to the body is going to be key for Crawford. Offsetting Canelo's footwork, offsetting Canelo so he has to reset and trying to steal the punches and bunches in between the rounds. That's how he can win, by the decision. And actually, he can pull it off by unanimous decision. Again, I got it 60-40 favorite Canelo. Now, many will say, what's the true prediction? What am I predicting for this fight to go down? So you heard me say earlier, 60-40, favorite Canelo. This fight will go by decision if somebody wins. I'm going to focus on that word if. My actual prediction, I'm going to drop my 3-minute fight drill, my 3-minute fight breakdown. I think I'm going to do it for, I either drop it Sunday, I'm going to drop it Tuesday. But anyway, we're going to talk about it. Hit that like button, it's free. Comment below, subscribe if you got the time to support Casual Real. Appreciate y'all rocking out with us. We're just going to wrap it up and cover up what our prediction for Canelo is. And then another recap on the thumbnail everybody sees about, yes, Floyd Money Mayweather and Mike Tyson are getting it on. Signed, sealed, delivered 2026. But let's get back to this real boxing real quick. We're going to wrap it up with Canelo Alvarez, Terrence Buck Crawford, quick prediction. Here's how I see it going. And some of you that's been following me kind of know where I'm going. If these fighters win, I think it goes to decision. Whoever wins, if they win, goes by decision. Why do I say if? My actual prediction is this. Looking at this high level of fight, looking at these two men, true future Hall of Famers, regardless who wins this fight or wherever it goes, two future Hall of Famers, two men pound for pound on the top of their game right now. Saul Canelo Alvarez, Terrence Buck Crawford. There's too many ways for either of these fighters to win this fight. Like, we just went over just a few things, but if you watch our keys to victory, I got 4 videos back to back to back for each fighter. Multiple ways they can win the fight. Realistically, there's just too many keys to victory. Way too many keys to victory. Both of them have dog mentalities, meaning you're going to have to really put them down in order for either fighter not to win this fight or to get knocked out. I think Crawford get knocked down, but he gets back up. I think Canelo won't get knocked down, but he'll never give up fighting, even if he's losing on the cards. We've seen fights like this where it's too many keys to victory, too many opportunities, too high level, too much money on the line. Second point, there's a lot of money on the line for this fight. The way Canelo's getting paid, the way they've got the future set up him with Ring Magazine going forward. Same thing for Terrence Buck Crawford, legacy on the line. He's tied in with Ring Magazine, turkey out his sheet. The money's there, the money's on the line. A lot of betting's going on. If you ever watch the sport of boxing long enough, you'll see a fight like this come around ever so often. Now, we haven't seen a fight like this of a legacy standard, 3-time undisputed, somebody jumping up in this weight class going to 168, but we have seen high caliber fighters of this magnitude challenge themselves like this, and where the keys to victory were so tight that either fighter could win. Hence why I'm going to go with this. When I've seen a fight like this that's been so close and so much money on the line and there's so many keys to victory, and neither fighter looks like they can give up by a knockout. It'll have to be a knockout, right? And I just can't see either fighter getting knocked out. So it'll go to decision. With the money on the line and the way we're going to see this go, I've got it going by a draw. I've already placed my bet for a draw. It's too much money on the line. It's too many ways for either fighter to win. I see Terrence Buck Crawford winning rounds 1 through 3 by starting out by pure smart boxing. It'll actually be boring for the first 3 rounds. When we talked about Canelo hooking and managing the ring, keeping him in a neutral corner, I think he'll start having success around the middle rounds 4 through about 7. You're going to see Canelo have real good success, owning the middle of the rounds, making Terrence Buck Crawford re-question himself. In fact, I expect Terrence Buck Crawford to hit the ground between rounds 4 through 7. He's going to feel some of that power from Canelo. Saul's going to feel it coming and get himself comfortable. As Crawford resets around rounds in around 8, heading to round 9, you're going to see him reset and go into reboxing mode. He's going to manage that dog mentality and box smart, jab to the midsection, keep Canelo up off of him. What'd you say? So what is it? Oh, my bad, brother. I missed you. Subject today, we got Floyd, Mike Tyson signed their fight 2026. And then we talked about that earlier, but we'll circle back on it. And then for right now, we've got, we're wrapping up Canelo Alvarez, Terrence Buck Crawford, final prediction, or early predictions from us headed in. So right now, obviously, you heard me say Canelo Alvarez, Terrence Buck Crawford will be a draw, right? I think that'll be a nice draw. Both men will manage their rounds evenly. Early rounds going to Terrence Buck Crawford. He'll box smart. He'll jab to the midsection, reset Canelo. Canelo will own the middle of the fight. He'll get comfortable and finally trick Crawford to where he needs him to be, get him in the neutral corners, meaning he'll get him into the white corners, keeping him there from post to post, managing the fight a little bit better, putting some real power up on him, making Crawford re-question himself. I do expect Crawford to possibly get dropped, but keeping that dog mentality in place, I don't think he'll go toe-to-toe. He'll get re-back, Bo macking him or reset him, change the strategy, and he'll box, the second half of that fight, and they'll probably split the championship rounds or so. And it'll be a good fight. It'll be close to win. And you know how boxing goes. Once it goes to them cards, anything happens. And that's why I said there's too much money on the line. If you read the room and read where they said, they think the next biggest fight is the rematch next year, Cinco de Mayo. They've already said it. How do you get to a rematch of this magnitude? Well, it's got to be a close fight. It's got to be a good fight, even if one of them wins. So that means it's going to be a decision, and it'll probably be a controversial decision if either fighter wins. Again, which why I lead to, if you want a real rematch of this type of magnitude, I think it's going to be a draw. I think both fighters are too good. I think there's too many ways for them to win. There's too many avenues, approaches, too many theories they can win. You said, do I think Canelo is actually bigger than Crawford? He is bigger than Crawford by weight only. We did a breakdown on that. Canelo is actually an inch shorter and has about 1.5 inches, almost 2 inches reach disadvantage. Terrence Buck Crawford by attributes is technically the bigger fighter in this case. but by denseness and thickness and weight, Canelo is technically the larger fighter. And more importantly, he's been at 168, taking those blows, taking punches from bigger men. He's been up to light heavyweight. So when it comes to that aspect, he's probably the more durable fighter. We're going to find out who's the stronger fighter for sure. A lot of people talk about Bud Crawford's strengths, definitely being on the inside. But my early guess is I think Canelo's going to be the stronger fighter. He will definitely be the more dense fighter, more durable fighter. I don't think Crawford needs to change his position often. That would work with a low IQ fighter, meaning I think Canelo Alvarez, he can fight either style. And changing it too much, honestly, is going to work for the advantage of Canelo. I do think he can change it once or twice throughout the fight if he needs to adjust some things and give Canelo different looks. Obviously, Canelo is more comfortable with fighting orthodox fighters, but I can tell you now, by the training that Canelo's been doing and fighting and sparring with the likes of Boots Ennis, he's training for this brother to fight southpaw. So it might be good to come out orthodox first and test Canelo out, box smart, and then when you get comfortable, switch to your normal stance of southpaw, but don't go too hard because I'm pretty sure Canelo, they're waiting for him to go southpaw. They're waiting for him to fight the way they expect him to do. So sometimes in the battle of war, give him something he ain't thinking about to start him off, throw Canelo's game off and make him rethink, and then you can get comfortable to your normal game plan. Yeah, I think IQ category, I think Crawford has the higher IQ, but I mean, Canelo's right there. Power-wise, yeah, that's clear. At least by snap, at least by proven power. Let's just say that, right? Especially at this weight class that we're getting to. But like I said, there's too many ways for these two fighters to win. I've already went with the draw. I rarely go with the draw. I have once or twice. I went with the draw for was it the Pacquiao fight? Pacquiao Barrios. I think I went draw with that and came out good. When I get a feeling about the draw, it's rare, and this is one of them. I'm feeling good about it. I'm feeling good about the draw. I think it's going to be a great night of boxing. We're going to see two high IQ fighters, man. Two high IQ fighters. He said, who got right from me is Inoue. I like Inoue. He said the GOAT right now, I say best right now, it's Usyk right now. Pound for pound. Pound for pound, top of the game right now is Usyk. I can't deny him for what he's done. Cruiserweight, moved to heavyweight, did his thing. Yep. Yeah, remember that. I called a draw. If I get it right, y'all give me my credit. Come back and say, like, I'm one of the only few people, by the way, that's, if you check out the other podcasts, I'm one of the few that's actually, I'm bold enough to step out and say, I really, truly believe it's a draw. And there's logic behind why I'm telling you it's a draw. Just the way they can fight, there's too many ways to win. I don't see either fighter getting knocked out. It's going to go to the cards. I'm pretty confident in that. But with that said, now this is boxing. Canelo Alvarez has power. He could stop Crawford in the first round. We could get surprised out of this world. I mean, I don't know how many of you watched Moses Atamo and Dillian White. I thought we all thought Moses was going to win, but first round like that. How many watched Manny Pacquiao, Mario Barrios? Who thought that was going to be a draw? Who thought a lot of fights that we saw were going to go the way they happened? Joseph Parker, Martin Bacoli, second round, third round stoppage? So this is boxing. Anything can happen, but odds are, you watch it long enough, a few of the things keep happening. And at this kind of level, these high IQ fighters, man, these top talented fighters, these Hall of Fame fighters, they're going to be too smart to let things go by the side. They've trained too much. There's too much money on the line. I see a decision if a fighter wins a decision, but I'm going with the draw first. Now, if you put me in a corner and said who wins by decision, then that changes. And I'm still wrestling with that. If I had to pick one, if you force me in the corner, like I said, I'm high on the draw. I've never been this confident on the draw, and I know it's one of the lower predicted areas. But like I said, breaking down the fights, watching how they fight. I mean, I've been going over tape after tape after tape, watching their fights, and I'm just seeing too much, man. And if you look at the history of boxing, when you see a fight this close, and the type of magnitude it is, type of money, I'm telling you, it usually ends in it's a good chance it ends in a draw. Anyway, I'm riding with that. I'm riding with the draw. If you put me in a corner, by decision, I think it'll be a controversial split decision in favor of Terrence Bud Crawford. Controversial because I still see him getting dropped by an off-balance shot throughout this fight. If anybody gets dropped, it'll be him. I think it'll be a controversial split decision. They'll force us into a rematch next year. And I think Terrence Bud Crawford will pull it out. Close split decision victory. Very controversial. But again, I'm still riding with the draw. That's my pick. That's what I'm going to do. So if I get it right, and y'all see it's a draw, we can rewind this back. And you can rewind when I drop my 3-minute fight, drew my 3-minute fight breakdown. Y'all can say, Casual Real, spot on. And I'm telling you why. There's too many ways to win. These both can go back and forth. I know a lot of people, you're right, a lot of people are picking Canelo. A lot of people are picking Canelo. A lot of analysts are, and rightfully so. Like you heard me start off this thing. I'm honest. Canelo should be the favorite. He's the bigger man, 168 pounds, been there, proven, Hall of Famer. A guy jumping up 2 weight classes hasn't been done at this level in years. We're talking decades of seeing this. And even when that happened, it was still a rare event. Only about 2 people in the history of boxing has pulled this off. It's tough. It's a tough task, and he should be the favorite. I disagree with a lot of the analysts who do pick Canelo, saying it's going to be a whitewash. He's going to knock him out. I think it still goes to decision. Even if Canelo wins, it'll be by decision. It'll probably be unanimous decision if Canelo wins. But like I said earlier, I'm sticking with that draw. Just seeing a lot. Jackson Lay, what's going on? You saying boxing? Canelo wins, MMA Crawford. Ooh. Yeah, you know what, though? I don't know. I think a lot of people sleep on Canelo's inside game. I think a lot of people sleep on his ability and his strengths on the inside. He can grapple, too. And he does, like, all these little weird sports, right? Like, he does, like, a lot of horseback riding. And not just your regular horseback riding. I'm talking about the competition style, jumping over hurdles. That takes a lot of hip movement and a lot of hip strength. So I think Canelo, with some training, he'll actually be decent at MMA. He said, why is Canelo so good now but lost to Floyd? It seems strange to me. No, he was ripened for the pickings against Floyd. He was too young in the mind. His IQ wasn't there yet. He took a chance on himself during that time frame. He really shouldn't have been in that fight with Floyd, to be honest with you. But he did have a chance. He had a puncher's chance, and Canelo taught him it's not all about strength. It's not all about punching power. Sometimes it's about enough punching power to keep somebody off of you, but with the high IQ, I can control you all night, and that's what Floyd did. He just matadored him around the ring, picked him apart. It was a young Canelo. That is not the same Canelo, by the way. That Canelo that lost to Floyd is nothing like the Canelo that's about to step in the ring against Terrence Bud Crawford. There's some things Crawford can use that Floyd did to beat a fighter like Canelo, even the one now. But if you think you're going to fight exactly the same way and it's going to look the same way, that is negative. There was a lot going on then. And that fighter of Canelo has grown, learned, and fought so many styles since then. He's 10 times better than what he was. And more importantly, those losses he took, Floyd, and then obviously lost to Bivol, we throw no fighter away for taking a loss. To me, a loss actually helps some of these fighters build and grow. Hit that like button. It's free. Comment below. Subscribe if you got the time. It's your boy Cash Real Saturday Podcast. We're rocking out tonight. We started out with the likes of, Mike Tyson, Floyd Money Mayweather. Now we're just talking about Floyd. Mike Tyson, Floyd Mayweather are getting it on 2026. The news just dropped. disrespectfully the week before Canelo, Terrence Bud Crawford. But this is a classic page out of Floyd's book. He's done it before. I really don't like him doing that. I think we should have the eyes on the sport of boxing right now, on the real boxing event that's going on next week. Netflix helped grow the sport, but it is what it is. Shout out to Floyd. Shout out to Mike Tyson, man, helping to grow. Hit that like button. It's free. Comment below. Subscribe if you got the time. Sport Casual Rope Sunday podcast rocking out. So let's get into these final little points with Crawford, Canelo. And see, Jackson Lay saying Crawford has a wrestling background, and that's why you think Crawford would win in MMA. Because MMA, Crawford would, he would take him down. And he does have a wrestling background, actually a good wrestling background at that, not that he just played around with it. And you're right, I think he could, but I think with the proper training, I mean, Canelo could be right there. But yeah, I think with his wrestling background that he had, and he still does it, by the way, Crawford still practices, he would have the advantage straight off. You said in this upcoming fight, you hope Crawford wins, but you think Canelo wins by decision or TKO. Hey, respect to that. It's going to be tight. It's going to be tight for... it's a tough challenge for Crawford. I think a lot of people are rooting for the underdog, as he is. He's the underdog. This would be great, seeing this in our time frames. 3-time undisputed. The last time he jumps up 2 weight classes and beats a great. I mean... A lot of people want to see that good underdog story, right? So, and shout out to Usyk. Yeah, Usyk right now, I forgot who asked earlier, but yeah, Usyk is he's the pound for pound right now and the current GOAT. But with that said, one thing I'm going to say about Usyk, and I ain't going to spend long on it. Usyk needs to run the fade with Joseph Parker. Him and Joseph Parker need to get that fight. I know there's some negotiations going on and back and forth. Now he's claiming he's injured and pushed out. But Joseph Parker and Usyk, we got to get that done. That's another big fight I really want to see. I think Joseph Parker has earned his shot, earned that scrap, his time to get at least a shot at a title again. That's just my opinion. He said Canelo deserves to be the best right now, and Canelo's era is coming to an end. It is. I think he's only got about 3 or 4 fights left up in him. And if Canelo does beat the likes of Crawford, I want to see Canelo Alvarez either challenge Bivol again, whether it's at 168 or 175, or give us that David Benavidez, the Vendetta Roja fight. I don't want to see him retire without that. I think that's going to be a blemish. Whether win, lose, or draw, actually, to Crawford. He's got to see David Benavidez, man. A lot of people think he's been ducking. And it's coming harder to defend why he hasn't fought David Benavidez yet. But I think before he retires, yes, his era is coming close. I mean, he's got a lot of mileage on him, a lot of fights. He's got to get that David Benavidez smoke. You said Canelo doesn't have the raw power as far as being able to pack his entire body position into one punch, but Crawford can read that because he has very quick reflexes. He does have the power. Oh, yeah, correct. And that's actually how a lot of the fighters stay out of the way of Canelo's punches, by the way. He has telltale signs. Fighting out at high guard again. When he does it, he gives a sign when he's about to loop for the hook because he has to drop from here to here. A lot of fighters can already read that and back out. What Canelo does need to do to connect a little bit better, I don't think he's going to do it because it's just not his nature. He needs to jab a little more. He needs to mix in certain different little punches and jab a little bit more than trying to just hook, even though I think that is his key to victory. He does need to implement some feints and some jabs to keep Crawford thinking and make him just a little bit too slow and maybe catch him with his hook. Yeah, Usyk is excellent, but he hasn't found an opponent at his level. True. And the heavyweight division has declined, in my opinion. I think it's gotten better from where it was during the Klitschko era. It was riding high when the likes of AJ, Deontay, AJ, Tyson Fury, Usyk, and those guys had kind of burst on the scene, even though Usyk was at cruiserweight still at the time. they kind of start taking over that new era. You know, the Andy Ruizes, those guys, it was going. But I think it's coming. It's going to start to come back again. It declined again, but we still got some talent around. Moses Atomos, Terra Moana coming up. You got some guys that are starting to grow right now and grow up. And I would like to see the likes of Jao Pataya move to heavyweight eventually as well, from cruiserweight to heavyweight, and see if he can recreate some magic that Usyk did. Jackson, you said you have to check Joseph Parker out. You say you don't know him, but hell yeah, Usyk deserves a challenge. He does deserve that challenge. Yeah, Joseph Parker, man, check him out. Look at his last few fights. He's fought Deontay, Zhilei Zhang, Martin Bakole, back to back to back to back. Three of the hardest hitting men in the heavyweight boxing history of the last 20 years, pretty much, right? Took them all on and beat them. The first two by decision, last guy smoked him. Meaning Martin Bakole knocked him out, second or third round. Joseph Parker's a real fighting man, true warrior. Not popular around the world as much as he should be, but he's the kind of fighter you want to see. He turns down no fight, fights anybody, doesn't care. He just wants to fight, and I'm really high on him. I really like Joseph Parker. He said, but on the other hand, you're not sure if Crawford has enough power to unsettle Canelo because Canelo has a chin. Yeah, he does. Yeah, Canelo has that chin. I think Crawford has enough power. And this is the one thing I will take away from Floyd and Canelo fight. Floyd did show you, and Floyd showed you his entire career, you don't have to have knockout power or bruising power to keep a man up off of you. You just have to have honest power. And I think Crawford has enough power to do enough in that ring to keep Canelo honest. Keyword, honest power. Honest power means he's not going to rush him, meaning Canelo, or bulldoze him. He has enough power to make him honest that he can feel it. Same way Floyd did. Floyd had enough pop in that punch to keep you up off of him. I think he has enough power to do that, but a knockout from Crawford to Canelo, that ain't happening. You said we look alike boxing fanatics. What's up? Oh, I see what you did there. You said Anthony Joshua, Wilder, Ruiz, Fury, they're all in the decline. The whole era, by the way, guys, that heavyweight era, we missed it, right? It's on that decline where those guys really should have mixed it up. We should have got that AJ Wilder smoke, but I think we got a new batch that's coming up that's going to do some damage. I like what Moses Tomo's looking like. I like some of the guys that's coming with them. They're going to do some things. Hit that like button, it's free. Hit that like button, it's free. Comment below, subscribe if you got the time. It's your boy Cash Rep with Sunday Podcast, man. I appreciate y'all rocking out with us tonight. We covered real quick the likes of Floyd Money Mayweather, Mike Tyson fight 2026. Yes, you heard us right. Mike Tyson, Floyd Money Mayweather, getting it on 2026. This is not a game. This is not spam. This is unfortunately a true details aren't out yet, but we assume it's going to be an exhibition fight. 2026, Las Vegas, Nevada, MGM. And yes, they announced it during the Canelo, Terrence Crawford fight week. Classic Floyd Money Mayweather style, really trying to steal some momentum from the big fight weekend that's going on. It's just what he does, man. But salute to them, still getting that money, still getting to that bag. You know, a lot of people are going to tune into it anyways, even though it's just going to be a circus event, entertaining fight. But I'm here for it. I'll go watch it. But right now, I think they could announce that after this fight, because we got real fight going on. Crawford, Canelo, or should I say really Saul Canelo Alvarez defending his belts against Crawford, and Crawford daring himself to be great. You said, what's the solution to the Usyk riddle? No one has found that answer yet. If I was a heavyweight fighter, what would I do? Shit. Usyk's tough. Tough nut to crack. To beat a guy like Usyk, you got to, show him no respect, period, in the ring. He needs to be roughed up. He's a tough fighter, but you need a fighter. You need a fighter with a high boxing IQ that's not afraid to get dirty. And I don't mean illegal. I'm talking about just rough with him, hitting him in certain places, hitting him in the elbows, hitting him on the biceps, the shoulders, the hips, kind of wearing him down and quick enough on the feet to catch up with him. And more importantly, apparently, you have to have a chin with Usyk. He wasn't known as a knockout guy like that. He could wear you down and stop him, but apparently he's got pop. He's got power. I don't know what's going on. He's knocking these guys out, stopping them in places. So apparently you need a chin. But yeah, if I was a heavyweight fighter, I think the guy that needs to beat him is somebody that's quick on the feet, and it's a fighter first, but has boxing IQ, not just sit there and get hit in the face. Like Daniel Dubois, fighter, he just couldn't move. Tyson Fury, chinny now. I mean, the Deontay Wilder fights took it out of. AJ, we already know his problem. Can't move, and he's chinny. I think a guy like Joseph Parker would give him troubles, but it would be a good fight, favorite of Usyk. I think a guy like a Jit Caballero may be that type of kryptonite because he does good body work. He's strong with it, and he's quick on his feet. If you don't know who a Jit Caballero is, check him out. AGITKABAYEL. Vicious puncher, vicious inside game, strong fighter, really good guy. I think he fights out of Germany, if I'm not mistaken. But I think he's Kurdish. Is he Kurdish? I can't remember his heritage. But anyways, he's a good fighter, man. Good fighter, Jit Caballero. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Jackson, I know. I saw what that's why I said it earlier. I said, yeah, I saw what you did, bro. I saw what he did. Prime Floyd Gervonta. Floyd beats him 10 times, twice on Sunday. Gervonta is the biggest wasted talent I've seen in boxing. He's got the goods, got the skills, but they just wasted his talent, man. It's kind of sickening what they've done to the likes of Gervonta Tank Davis and what he's kind of done to himself. But either way, Prime Floyd is 10 times better than Gervonta, regardless of what Gervonta did in his career. I think somebody like Foreman could have beat Usyk. Nah. Even though Foreman had that pop, and rest in peace to great George Foreman. Even though Foreman had that good pop, that good strength on him, his kryptonite was guys that can move and punch and had a good chin. I mean, Muhammad Ali showed us that. And Usyk's no Muhammad Ali, but Foreman struggled with guys like that who were quick on their feet, able to move, had good pop. Foreman was a little bit too slow on the feet to stick with a guy like Usyk. So I think Usyk would have beat him by decision at that. He said, you think he'll retire undefeated because while we wait for new stars to rise, the heavyweight division, it'll be too late. Yeah. I think he's got one more fight left in him based on how he's been stating his last couple of interviews. And I think, unfortunately, it'll probably be a Tyson Fury trilogy for whatever damn reason. I don't know why they want to do that. But I think he's going to do one more big fight and then call it done. He said, boxing will soon become obsolete. The glory days of boxing now over with. I don't think so. I think we're resurging there, Robert. I think parts of it's coming back. I like what the Ring is doing, like what Dana White and companies trying to maybe try to do, get rid of that pay-per-view model. They're challenging these guys to fight. They're setting up the big events. They're sucking in a lot of money right now, but they got to, right? They got to burn some money, get eyeballs back on the sport. I think once they get where they want it to over the next year or two, the new structure, and actually make these guys, these top talents, fight and make the big events, I think they can get it back. But it's over from what it used to be. Like the 90s, we can get back there, but it's going to be tough, man. The 90s, the 70s, it's tough. It's Usyk. Heavyweight champion of the world right now is Usyk. Not the most popular fighter as well. Shout out to Usyk. He's popular over, obviously, like in the UK, Ukraine, where he's from, but not as big as it used to be. I'll agree with you on that, Robert Anderson. Back in the day, you could walk down the street and everybody knew who the heavyweight champion was and who the welterweight champion was. If I ask anybody on the street right now, That's tough. They're probably still going to say Mike Tyson. And I don't mean that disrespectfully. They're really going to, your average fan who doesn't watch boxing, I'm talking about just the guy off the street who watches NFL, NBA, soccer, FIFA, whatever, who just casually pops in and out, probably won't know who the champ is at the heavyweight or the prime weight divisions at all. They may know who Canelo is, and they may know who Gervonta is. Even though I say he's the biggest waste of talent right now, they may know who Tank is just by he is a face. He's popular. Let's see. In my opinion, what is the best weight category currently? 154 pounds. 154 pounds has a lot of hidden talent and a lot of guys that are willing to fight and a lot of guys who want to fight so they get their names known. So I'll say the 154-pound division is smoking. You got Tim Tszyu, even though I like Tim Tszyu, he took a bad loss, but Sebastian Fundora, Keith one-time Thurman about to get it on. You got Jermell Charlo coming back. You got Erickson Lubin, Virgil Ortiz. You got Boots Ennis. 154-pound division right now, to me, has the most potential. Yeah, that's it, 154. Right behind it, I'll say between 135, 140 are looking good. 168 is kind of dying. Light heavyweight starting to come back, 175-pound division, but yeah, 154. Do I think Crawford has a shot against Canelo? Yes, he does. 60-40, Robert answers, that's what I think it is, 60-40 favorite to Canelo. I think if Crawford can manage his dog mentality, not open up too much when he gets hit, box smart, but stay active with his hands, yeah. He stands a really good chance. But for those who heard me earlier, I got this one being a draw. Too many ways for either of these fighters to win. Big fight, a lot of money on the line. When I've seen a fight like this in the past, this close, this type of talent, usually ends up in a draw. So I'm going to stick with that. But yeah, Crawford definitely 40% chance to win. He said, Prime Tyson before going to prison deserved to be called the best in your opinion. He had the attack and determination, but after the drugs and women, yeah, his level clearly declined. The death of Costamato. Tyson went down quick. And by his own, and he'll admit it, if you watch some of his monologues and documentaries, he'll tell you Mike Tyson ruined Mike Tyson himself. He ruined himself. He could have been at the highest levels even quicker. He hit the decline in his career. That prison time messed him up. It really threw him off. I think he could have beat a Holyfield had he not went to prison and with all the drugs and everything else. His dedication to the sport kind of threw him off. But then he came back with a resurgence. He rededicated himself. But by then there was a lot of damage done, especially at the heavyweight division. So Gervonta said, Washington, I didn't understand what I meant about him wasting his talent. Gervonta wasted talent because there were so many big fights, so many legacy fights for him to get into. Let's get into one in particular, Lomachenko. Gervonta Tank Davis has only had the WBA belt, regular at that. Gervonta Tank Davis, the kind of power he possesses, but more importantly, his ring IQ, his skills, he's quick, he can move, he can box, man. He's good. If you look at the skill set, look just an eye test at looking at him, and I know I got glasses on, but the eye test, he is a top talented fighter that could have been great. He could have undisputed at 135. But he let the likes of Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez step in and get that Lomachenko fight, move up in weight, get belts elsewhere, unify, take the big fights. He's only fought guys that either there was a stipulation or they came up in weight. His biggest challenge probably was Pedraza at that time because he was young. Everybody else, it was just kind of like it was there for him. Even the Ryan fight, there was all the weight clauses and all that. And then the Lamont Roach fight happens. They both know each other. He finally runs into a good boxer that knows him. Then it's a draw. I actually had Gervonta winning that fight by split decision. But what I mean by wasted talent is he could have undisputed. He could have unified. He could have had so much more accolades, taken on way so many more names, and put him on his record, but he stays inactive. He only fights once a year. It's kind of sad because I like him as a fighter. I watch all his fights. I buy his pay-per-views. That's what makes it even worse for me. Buy your pay-per-views. I'm rooting for you, man. And just what they did to his career, what he did to himself is kind of crazy. That's kind of what I meant by wasted talent. Wasted his talents. He could have been a great man. I think once if he's got time to turn around, he's still young. When 5 years from now, 10 years from now, when he's done boxing, no one's going to remember. No one's going to look back and say, man, you might have to dig through some things and say, oh, who was that again? He made some money. He was a face. But as far as remembering like a greats, like you can rattle off certain greats that gave us big boxing events and legacy fights. Like we're going to remember Canelo Alvarez, right? Canelo Alvarez, even though he didn't take on everybody we wanted, he's taken on enough names. His resume is solid. He's had some crazy fights. We're going to remember Terrence Crawford, right? Crazy fights. He's challenged himself. He's jumped up. Win, lose, or draw. Even if he loses Canelo fight, you will remember his name. That's what I mean by wasted talent. He said Crawford, he is stubborn, and he will underestimate his opponent in the later rounds. And that's what I was saying about, by the way, he said that would get dangerous for somebody like Canelo. That's what I was mentioning earlier. He'll get comfortable. I think Canelo's going to trick him into being comfortable. Canelo's not going to sit on his shots early. He's smart. He ain't going to sit on his shots. He wants you to feel good about yourself. And then start working him. Then when he's hitting them, and then that dog mentality for Crawford turns on, I just hope he keeps it off, keeps his mind back, and don't step into that trap. Yeah, he can come back. Tank can come back, but not the way he's moving, especially if he takes his Jake Paul fight. Not the way he's moving. But look at his mentor, Floyd Money Mayweather, like we brought up earlier. Floyd, Mike Tyson, Sign, Seal, Deliver, 2026. It's play for play, blow for blow. It's how you get bread. Don't get me wrong. The entertaining fights can get you money. But do you want to be a gimmick or do you want to be a fighter? Do you want to be a boxer? Do you want to be Hall of Fame? Because it used to be, the Hall of Famer guys, these guys who did do all this work, gave us these legacy fights, retired broke sometimes. That's kind of been fixed. If you give us the fights, the guys who are giving the legacy fights and putting it on the line, they're getting paid now. They're getting money just as much. Like all these guys are getting accolades and they're doing both, and still getting high money, still getting paid and getting taken care of. So the excuse of that is gone to me. Yeah, he has a lot of personal problems. That's the other thing. He's reminding me of a young Mike. I don't think he's on drugs or nothing, but he's got women problems and can't apparently keep his hands off them. But I know the allegations got dropped, so we don't know what happened there. Stand up for 12 rounds. Who is better, Canelo or Crawford? Crawford. That's why I think the last rounds, between rounds 10, 11, 12, maybe 9, Canelo will abandon the strategy we talked about earlier. Moving and punching. He'll try to sit down his punches a little bit more. His activity will go down. Canelo, just every fight I've ever seen him, he gasses. Now, he might be preparing for a 12-round on this one, but even then, when I see him in his best shape, Canelo's going to gas. That's why I think he's going to do his damage in the middle of the round, steal a little bit of that, and they're going to split the back half. But Crawford, clear stamina, way better. Yeah, Tank wants money more than legacy. And that's okay. That's okay. Don't masquerade that you want to be a legacy fighter and that everybody's ducking, you want to do certain things. If you the money guy, be the money guy. And then we'll remember you as that, the money guy, the entertainment guy, the guy who brought a good event. I'll go to your event and you do a great party. But when it comes down to remember who's a face in boxing and who threw hands and who was top 10 and pound for pound, just don't get mad when you're not on that list. Yes, Floyd, and that's what a lot of people miss. Everybody looks at Floyd, the money Mayweather, and he was making all that money and flashing in their face. But while Floyd was flashing the money in your face and showing off and all that, 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, at any time, Floyd's running. Floyd's working out, hard work, dedication. And he was doing that because he never underestimated any opponent and he took on the biggest challenges he could. You could say, give or take a couple of fights, he had to get adjusted to welterweight division when he came back off retirement. But all in all, you look back at his resume, solid. Solid. Minus the notorious one for that 50th one. I didn't like that, but whatever. Floyd put in that work. Floyd put in that work, man. And a lot of guys miss that. A lot of guys miss that. Like, you got to have hard work, dedication. You can get the money with the hard work, dedication. You can still be fancy, but while you're being fancy, this is why Adrian Broner failed. He had the skill set too, but he was trying to be Floyd, trying to be fancy, and forgot Floyd was fancy for the cameras. Floyd was entertaining for the cameras. That was only about an hour of his life, maybe 2 hours, depending on what kind of promotional tour he's going. Them other 22 hours, Floyd Money Mayweather, eat, slept, breathe, boxing, in the gym rat, working out, getting it, hours upon hours, studying tape. He lived boxing, but he didn't want to show you that because he didn't want everybody to know that because they'll get an edge up on him. He wanted you to think all he cared about was the money and flash. He wanted you to think he wanted to get beat. Look at him now. I bet even with this fight with Mike Tyson, this exhibition fight they're going to do 2026, Floyd is going to work out as if he was still 25, 30, running. You know what I'm saying? He's going to be working out like it's a championship bout. He's going to come in good shape for a 48, 49-year-old person. I bet right now Floyd could still beat some of these guys in the welterweight division by skill set alone. And he still has the stamina. He doesn't really drink or nothing like that. He runs, I see you talking about the club. He runs a little club here and there. But he put in that hard work, dedication. When you eat, sleep, and breathe boxing like that, it's part of your life. It's every fabric of him. He can pump an event. He can sign a deal with the likes of Mike Tyson. But he could do that because he put in the work first, has a legacy to do it. Another person like that, although very inactive, but mainly due to injuries, Sebastian Fundora taking on Keith One-Time Thurman, right? I got Keith One-Time Thurman winning that fight for the same reason as Floyd. Skill set, but more importantly, if you look at what Keith One-Time Thurman does, he eats, sleep, and breathe boxing since he was like the age of 6, if I believe. Been doing it. It's in him. He's born to do this. He gets into there. I don't think he's a workaholic or gym rat the way Floyd was, but he's close. He stays in there. He stays working out. All he does is box. It's all he's ever done since he was a kid. Those kind of guys that also master it, they're special. Yeah, C-Mac, Floyd put in that work, man. A lot of people forget that. He put in that work. And I respect him for what he's doing. He's getting his bread with this Mike Tyson fight. He earned that, right? He put in the work to get to this level, to where he can be 49 years old and still get an exhibition fight like this. It's probably going to do over $100 million, but he put in that work. TBE, put in that work. Got to do that. And a lot of guys miss that. But with that said, caveat, with Canelo and Terrence Bud Crawford, I think both of these guys model themselves after Floyd to a degree of work ethic. And that's why I got this fight so close, and that's why I got it a draw. You can look at how Canelo Alvarez, 9-figure type fighter, you know what I'm saying? 9 figures. Got the finest of the finest of things. Mansions upon mansions. Anything he wants, he's got. But he works like he's broke. If you've seen Canelo's training, he works like he's broke. That's that Floyd mentality. Even though he's going to pull up to a 9-figure house with multiple millions in the account, probably be a billionaire from boxing when he's done. He works as if it's still his first day when he stepped into boxing, coming out of Mexico. He still fights that way. He still trains that way. He loves boxing. If you hear him talk about it, all he likes is boxing. All he knows is boxing. He loves this thing. That's the kind of fighter you can get behind. Same thing for Terence Bud Crawford. Not as rich as Canelo, but he's well off. He's done well for himself. He's been paid. You see how he trains the same way, the dedication. You see how both of these men smile when they talk about the sport of boxing, how they're about to challenge themselves in the sport of boxing, and why they got this fight going on. There's a reason Canelo Alvarez is getting the likes of boots in us in camp, because he respects Crawford. He knows what he's going to get against a man like that. He's about to get that hard work and dedication. Two of these fighters about to meet in the ring. Hard work, dedication. These are real men. These are real fighters. This is what you want to see out of your fighters, period. I want them to make money. I want them to be millionaires. Because if you make more millionaire boxers, we get more talent to the sport. We get them out of the NFL. Keep them from going to play baseball, soccer, whatever. You start getting the best athletes back into boxing because the money's there. So make that money. But the way you make that money is hard work, dedication, and pure, perfecting that craft. Now, you do have to have a mouthpiece. You do have to have some of the entertaining factors with you, saying to keep the eyeballs coming for you for the casuals. But you got to have the work ethic first. Then you got to show it in the ring. You got to put the power in there. You got to have the skill set. You got to get the knockouts. You don't have to get all knockouts, but you got to put on a show, man. And that's how you do it. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Hit that like button. It's free. Hit that like button. It's free. Comment below and subscribe if you got the time. And we're just rocking out, talking a little boxing tonight. Floyd Money Mayweather. TBE, the best to ever do it. Hard work, dedication. Getting signed, sealed, delivered with the like of Mike Tyson. But then you got guys like Canelo Alvarez, Terence Bud Crawford. Same type of hard work, dedication. Getting it on September 13th, 2025. Many have heard my prediction already. We've been rocking out for a little bit over an hour. I got it a draw. There's too many ways for these fighters to win. They're both dedicated to the sport. I think we're going to see the highest IQ of boxing being displayed between both men. I do see a knockdown in this fight. It'll probably be Crawford getting knocked down, but he'll get back up and box towards the back half of that fight. They're going to split it. And I just see a draw. Too much money on the line. Too many ways for them to win. But either way, if a fighter does win this and they pull it out, I got it going to decision. Too much dog in either man. You really got to put them out. You got to put them out. Both men are going to keep this thing going. They just got too much in them to lose. It's going to be a beautiful night of boxing. We're going to see what these two fighters have done over their career, the hard work and dedication, man. Like we were just talking about Floyd, that hard work he did paid off, building legacies. And I think the likes of what Canelo has done, still working as hard, 9-figure fighter, training like he's a young kid, training like he just got here, training like he's broke. Same thing for Crawford, training like he just got here, training like he's broke, training like he wants to be a legend. This is what legend shit is made of. This is where legacies come from. And we're about to see some real things happen here in the sport of boxing. September 13, 2025, man. It's going to be good. Yeah, what's going on? Off-topic question. They do, actually. They do practice that. Some do, some don't. But majority will, so it can build up the testosterone. He said you was working on martial arts for 3 years and you made it. Nice, nice, nice. Check more. Okay. Nice. Congrats on that. Hit that like button. It's free. Comment below. Subscribe if you got the time. Sportcast Road Sunday podcast. We'll rock out for a couple more minutes here and then we'll call it. Again, if you're just tuning in, yes, it is true. Floyd Money Mayweather, Mike Tyson. 2026, Las Vegas, Nevada, MGM. I think the details are still getting worked out if it's going to be an exhibition or whatnot. But salute to them. But like we said earlier, they could have held off on this, right? They could have held off on this. They could have let it happen. Announced it after the Crawford fight, because we need everybody on this Crawford fight. And Canelo. Legacy fight, real men fighting, real good scrap. I think this is a good time for American boxing, especially because we kind of down right now. American boxing kind of down right now. We haven't had the big fights, the big that big mega events that we should have. And no, what better way than have two of our top talented fighters get it on and challenge themselves in the sport of boxing for the legacy. Again, I got to be in a draw. You rarely, if I get it right, I want y'all to come back and say, Casual got it right. Hit that like button and subscribe, especially if I get that right. But like I described earlier, too many ways from the win. I think Crawford's going to implement the strong jab to the waistline, to the body, offset Canelo, let him drop his hands out that high guard, still a couple of rounds. Middle of the fight, Canelo will figure out his hooks, keep him in the neutral corners. That's the white corners on each side. And then start to hook and manage the movement of Crawford, maybe even clip him and knock him down. So fatigue will start to set in. Both men will start to trade off, and then they'll balance out the back rounds. It's going to come down to who's actually more conditioned. I think that'll be Crawford towards the back end. But with that knockdown or so, or the tough rounds, he's going to suffer in the middle as that power from Canelo kind of sets in. I think they'll split it, and there's a lot of money on the line. I just see a draw being dished out. But regardless of the fact, that's my prediction. That's my bet, and I've already placed my bet, by the way. You will rarely hear somebody go with a draw. Now, I rarely go with a draw, but I'm feeling it. And the last time I called one, I hit. And I'm feeling pretty good about this one. Either way, what I do know is this. We're going to see a damn good night of boxing. It's going to be a good fight. I think if a fighter does win, it'll be by decision. So if you're a Canelo fan and you're a Canelo supporter and you think he's going to win, I do have him favored 60-40. Then I would say Canelo by decision. And vice versa for Crawford. Strong decision on that. I'll see a knockout for Crawford. With that said, this is boxing. We all know we could walk out and be over in the first round. We can walk out. It's been a great fight all the way to the 11th round. Somebody gets clipped. That's why we love the sport. So it is what it is, but that's our prediction draw. The Thurman Fedora fight is October 25th, 2025. October 25th. It's going down. And I got Thurman winning that fight by decision. Pure boxer, gonna get in and out that guard, work him out real good. I got Thurman winning that fight. Yeah, these exhibitions, Jay Will, man, it's getting kind of crazy. I mean, one or two exhibitions is fine, you know, every so often, but they're ODing right now. I think the Tank Jake Paul exhibition needs to be canceled. There's too much. We got smoke. We got smoke with Lamont Roach still out there. We got real fights still left for him to do. Now for Floyd, I can take this exhibition fight they're going to do, if it's going to still be an exhibition. Whatever fight they're going to do, whatever. I'm there for that because both of these men retired. They did their time. They gave us legacy fights. They are legends. They've earned this type of, they earned this. They can do this. He could have announced it, meaning Floyd, after Canelo was done and Crawford was done. We figure out, let that get settled and we put everybody onto this Netflix event. Only way I would accept this is if they're going to promote it in unison, get more eyeballs onto the Crawford-Canelo fight week. Maybe they will do that. I don't know. Because I don't know who the promoter is yet for this fight between him and Mike Tyson. Then I would go there for it. If they're going to put it in tangent, put it on Netflix, and Netflix pumps it, okay. Now you might get more people to watch this Canelo-Crawford fight. Because I think this needs to be pumped heavy. But that's just me. You say great matchup like Bivol and Better Beef. Yeah, Bivol and Better Beef was a good little even match, right? Went both ways, right? Bivol got his, Better Beef got his. I wanted to see the third fight, but Bivol had surgery. But it'll be a good match. That's why I'm telling you, I think it's going to be a rematch already, man. You said my personal opinion with a martial arts combined with Muay Thai strikes, boxing footwork, and karate power will be with Muay Thai strikes, boxing footwork, and karate power. Oh, I got you. That's a hell of a fighter. First of all, they combine all that together. I prefer to see a boxer mixed with taekwondo. As far as defense, you have that defensive balance from kicking and strikes, and then obviously the power in the arms for the boxing and be able to move and implement both of those. It's actually pretty much what really kickboxing is and Muay Thai to a degree. I like Muay Thai, but I would say the power from taekwondo, the different type of leg strikes they do, forward kicks, and then the way they defend from kicks will go a long way for you. And then obviously the boxing itself, just pure from the stamina, being able to move at the hip line, defending from the top. I mean, obviously in a street fight, odds are you're going to end up in a boxing match and a kicking match, but having the kicking defense would be awesome. Eugene Pearson, you said if anyone's getting knocked out, you think it's going to be Canelo. Okay. I can't see it, brother. I can't see it. But salute. Hey, I tell you right now, that knockout, if you want to bet knockout Crawford, I think it's like a plus 800 right now. It's like a plus 800. Trust me, I just did the draw. I think the draw was like plus 12, like $5 gives you $150. So, I mean, you keep putting money. I put something on. I put more than that on it. But if you behind it, go for it. He said Canelo better knock out Crawford as soon as possible. Prime Floyd versus Prime Canelo. Prime Floyd beats Prime Canelo 10 times. Every day of the week, twice on Sunday. Just skills pay the bills. And Floyd proved that his body can take damage and he can roll with the shots. He's just a mastermind. Canelo, it's a bad style matchup too. Canelo's style was just perfect for Floyd. Floyd knew what he was doing when he did that, when he picked him the first time. And if they got prime to prime, it would be nasty. He said, you can try my stance. Oh, God, you said pro. That's the reason. Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah, we can see your stance. Yeah, Floyd's that good. Floyd is that good. I mean, you can give Floyd crap about how he is, flamboyant and all that, but like we covered earlier, his hard work and dedication, I mean, he earned it. Like, he put in that work. His skill set is unmatched. His defense is unmatched. The way he can sit in the pocket, unmatched. He never runs like that. He can if he wanted to. His legs are that good. His stamina's that good. But Floyd's defense, man, go back and watch. I challenge anybody. Go back and watch. Just pick 4 of Floyd's fights and pick one from when he was Pretty Boy, and then pick the other 3 when he was from wherever you want to go to, at least, but you got to get one from the Money era. Pretty Boy was a dog. That's why he was hurting his hands all the time. But he had that hustle mentality in him. That describes the actual real mentality of Floyd. Skill set in when he stopped wanting to hurt his damn hands so much and get hit. He mastered his defense. And then when he combined that, the dog mentality where he was with proper defense, he became one of the best to do it, right? I don't think he's the GOAT, but he's definitely one of the best to ever do it. Definitely from a money business standpoint, combining it with his work ethic and his skill set. He's one of the highest ones in my book. Like, if you just study him skill set wise, smart in the ring, reflexes sharp, brother. Reflexes were sharp. It's a tough night to beat him. The only thing that hurt Floyd, if he had power, Floyd would get even more respect than what he's got now. A lot of people down it because he didn't get a lot of knockouts later in his career. Imagine if he had power. because he was hitting guys flush, clean, embarrassing them. Imagine getting hit by that overhand, that pull overhand right he does. When you'd have missed, and he had some Canelo power. You going to sleep. And if he was doing that, he'll be one of the most famous boxers ever walked. He still is one of the most famous to be out here, but y'all be claiming he's the greatest thing to ever walk this earth. He was getting knockouts. Imagine if he was doing that and he had Wilder's kind of power in that right hand with the pull. Splitting guys out. Man, come on. He would be ridiculous. You said when he dropped out of school, it was early. He went to the Olympics, got robbed. That was sad. Robbed him in the Olympics. But after that, and that's what we was hitting on earlier, let's get back to that. A loss in these guys' career is not bad. I mean, I know Floyd made it look perfect. That's what he did. But a loss, like he took in the Olympics, a loss in these guys' career, that helps him build. And that's why I think Canelo's learned from those losses. He's even stronger for those losses that he had. Not saying that just because you haven't taken a loss, you ain't strong. I'm saying if you take a loss, that ain't the end of the world. Boxing can still get behind you. You can learn as long as you're learning from that loss and improving it, putting it in your bag, putting it in your skills, bro, you can be whoever. You can still be one of the greatest to do it. And Canelo's got 2 losses and still is out here swinging, still out here getting money, and still out here proving that he's a tough night for anybody, and he's still pound for pound. And shout out to Terrence. Hasn't taken a loss. He's had some adversity, but he's challenging himself. I know a lot of people give Crawford crap about the Madrimov fight, but how many fighters in their first fight moving up in weight take on a top contender? Most of them get a warm-up fight, a fill-out fight for that weight. He jumped straight to a top 10 contender. Actually, Madrimov was like number 4 or 5 in the 154-pound division. No fill-out, just took him on. And that guy was tricky. He could move and he could punch. No fill-out 154 and had a tough night, got a split decision. I thought it was unanimous, but got him a split decision, close victory. And I think he learned from that, and I think he took that as a loss, to be honest with you. And he's going to implement some things for that. But shout out to him from trying and trying to build that legacy. You said, do I think Floyd's skill is better than Pacquiao? Yes. And I like me some Pacquiao. But skill set, yeah, Floyd would still beat Pacquiao. Even though I didn't like when the fight happened, I think even in their prime, or the best moments, I guess you could say, yeah, Floyd still would beat him. Floyd likes that style. He loves pressure fighters. Fits right into his mold. Styles make fights. Fits right into his mold. I think the fight would have been closer if Pacquiao was a little bit healthier when they got that fight on, but that style is a bad matchup. But I love me some Pacquiao. He's also one of the GOATs. All time, not legacy, but pure skill. Oh, shoot. Skill? I got to think on that. That's tough. Not legacy, skills. Skills pay the bills. I like some Sweet Pea. I like Sugar Ray. I'm going to say Sugar Ray. Say Sugar Ray Leonard. I'm going to say Leonard. He probably had the pure skill. Yeah, Leonard. Yeah. I like Roberto Duran too. That's tough. I don't know. That's kind of hard. But yeah, I'll go with Leonard. Floyd lost power when he lost his tooth in that ring. Just kidding. Do you think it's a bad thing because it is a condition? A boxer must never lose, or he loses once, the fans lose. I think that's going away. It was a thing where if they lost, you wrote them off. You've seen it too. Like even the promoter company stopped putting them in certain fights. They take a loss. Real bad tactics that got misread, right? They built business, right? They built a lot of things off of fighters being undefeated and promoting them and promoting them because of what Floyd did. When they really should have just left that alone because Floyd was an enigma. But I think that's finally going away. And I think these fighters are challenging themselves and they're not afraid to take a loss anymore. Shout out to the young guys that's coming up. I like me some of the Floyd Schofields, the Abdullah Masons of the world that's actually challenging themselves. Even though Keyshawn kind of messed himself up, I still like Keyshawn Davis. Stephen Fulton, a Shockey Foster about to get it on, by the way. Like me some Stephen Fulton. He took him a loss to a new way, the monster, but he still came back and still got him a scrap at the next weight up. Though no fighter away, so I think that stigma is finally leaving. And you said Canelo showed up against William Skull where he beat Terrence. Oh, the same Canelo? Does Canelo show up to William Skull? I'm glad you said that. I don't think he will. I think he knows what he's. I don't think Canelo got up for Skull. Like, I don't think he respected Skull and really wanted to be there. I think he understands what this Crawford fight means and knows that it's legacy. So we're not going to see that same Canelo. But now that you said it, if that same Canelo Alvarez shows up that fought William Skull, that cannot get his foot off of the canvas to move around and catch a fighter, or to move around and throw hands and engage, and only wants to sit and plot, he will lose 8-4, clear unanimous decision victory to Terrence Bud Crawford. Probably even worse than that if he does the same thing he did against Skull, and that's period. But with that said, Canelo's a professional. I think he knows what this kind of stage he's on, and we won't see that Canelo Alvarez. We're gonna see one of the best Canelo Alvarez's we've seen in probably the last 5 years. And to be honest with you, I get kind of nervous because I've seen how he's been training and looking. He looks good. He looks intrigued now about this fight, and that it's gonna be a long night for Terrence. Terrence gonna have to earn this. Shakur Stevens, one of the top talents out right now, and depending on how he keeps fighting, he could be one of the greatest to do it as well. So I like Shakur. Shakur's got good skill set. His problem is his hands, similar to what Floyd, but his hands are breaking out even earlier. So if he can keep his hands healthy, get some more strength, he'll be good. Skill set, just skill set. Yeah, Stevenson's one of them ones. Shakur is one of them ones, man. Definitely one of them ones. And he can grow into a face, man, if he can keep himself healthy. He said Canelo has a lot of experience, but Crawford era is about to begin. If Crawford beats Canelo, yeah, that's facts. If Crawford beats Canelo, he will go down top 10 regardless of weight, period, throughout all time. Has to. No one's done what he just did, period. I'll put him in a category, but he's got to earn it. It's not going to be easy. But I agree, yes, the Crawford era will kind of end the Crawford era, as well as there's a Canelo era right now. They're both got their own little eras going on different weight classes. They're just about to clash. But it will stamp him first ballot Hall of Famer, guaranteed top 10 to ever do it. Legacy, this would be hard to repeat. I mean, it's tough. And that's why this is going to be tough for him to do. It's almost unheard of. In my opinion, Shakur Stevenson in your opinion, Shakur Stevenson is overrated, but you feel the best performance was against the Electricity. Talking about Padley. No, I think his best performance was against Zepeda. The Zepeda fight, he looked good. He stayed in the pocket. He engaged. He fought. He showed you that he can roll and have defense, doesn't have to use his legs. I thought he looked good. Crawford's talent, what has he done? And I fear that will increase if he loses to Canelo. Crawford's talent and what he's done, and I fear that will, decrease, okay, increase if he loses to Canelo. Crawford's talent and what he's done. I might have to rewrite that one. I don't think I'm tracking the question. Shakur is good, has good defense, good footwork and skill, but no natural power. Yes, facts. Facts. All right, we got a couple more minutes left, and then we're going to close it out. We've been rocking for a good little time tonight, hour and a half. Hit that like button. It's free. Appreciate you guys rocking out with us tonight, man. We really appreciate that love. It's your boy Cal's Road Signing Podcast. We got plenty of videos, plenty of content out there for you to check out. Subscribe if you got the time. We really appreciate you helping us grow. A small channel. We're growing quick and fast. We're engaging. So we'll be hitting up some live events as well, posting those videos throughout the years. We get ready to start hitting some of these live boxing events. Wanted to go to the Crawford Canelo fight live and do some backdoor footage like we did for the Abdullah Mason fight out in Norfolk a couple months now. But it is what it is. Can't go to that at this time. Had some conflicts, but it's a hobby for us. We appreciate you helping us grow. Appreciate you checking out the content. Let us know if you have anything you want us to cover. Comment, subscribe, hit that like. It's all free. We appreciate that love and support. Appreciate everybody's been rocking out with us tonight. So before we get up out of here, we'll do this quick recap. Yes, Floyd Money Mayweather, Mike Tyson, 2026, signed, sealed, delivered right now. Not sure if it's going to be a true exhibition or they're going to try to make this something else. But exhibition fight 2026 is going down. Las Vegas, Nevada, MGM, you got it. And then we got the likes of Crawford, Canelo, or I should say Canelo, Crawford. I do have it a draw. That's my bet. That's my position on that. Rare to hear that, but that is a draw. Too many ways to win this fight. Both fighters at the highest levels right now. And it's just a lot of money on the line. So normally when you see this, I see a draw. Either way, either fighter who does win, because that's the most likely thing. If a fighter does win, I got it going by decision. But with that said, it will be a good legacy fight. We're going to see some hard work and dedication from both of these men. And we're going to see a legacy be reloaded, should we say, between both of these fighters. He said, actually, we don't know that Crawford is one of the best right now. Yes, they hit him under Canelo's shadow, and if he loses, Canelo will fight Bivol, and he may not. Yes, that's fair. He won't get it. Yeah, if Crawford loses this fight, he won't get another shot. Period at this. He'll go back down probably 154 pounds, and that'll be it for him. But yeah, I mean, Crawford got a bad shake throughout his career. He was blackballed for a while, definitely during the Errol Spence era. PBC was riding high, kept him out of a lot of things, blackballed him from getting certain big fights. So he got the scraps that he could. So his name didn't get to really grow like it was. And on top of that, he didn't do himself no favors. He didn't talk a lot, but he let his hands fly in the ring. But yeah, he was hitting on the rock. So he loses this, it's back to the drawing board for Crawford. If Canelo loses, I think it'll be a rematch, and we'll see how that goes. But I think Canelo, win, lose, or draw, he's going to grow. I mean, Canelo's a face of boxing. But with that said, Canelo's not trying to lose this fight. I think he understands how big this fight is. Now, anyways, I think he didn't respect Crawford moving up in weight, seems him as too small. But I think he's done his studies. He's done the tape. He's hearing everybody chatter. It went from no chance for Crawford to now Crawford has a chance. I always thought Crawford had a chance just by boxing wise, but a lot of guys are starting to pick. A lot of the professional boxers are starting to pick Crawford. They're starting to see certain things, and Canelo doesn't like that. This is his division. This is his time. This is him training. This is his undisputed era. He does have high ring IQ. He can box. He can move. And I think he's got a chip on his shoulder, and I think he's going to come out and show a little something more. That's why I'm saying I think we're going to see the best Canelo Alvarez we have probably seen in the last 5 years or so. I think he wants to show everybody, show the world that he, too, is a Hall of Famer and a future pound-for-pound great. Yes, most definitely. Remember that I said that. I said a draw. Now, it's still unlikely. I'll be the first one to tell you if I lose it, I lose it, but it is what it is. But draw is where I got it at. Y'all remember that draw. I'm saving this video anyway, so it don't really matter. I'll come back and say, Casual bet that draw. Casual was the one that got it right. If I get it right, we can bring it back. But either way, you also know the backup is if they do give it to somebody, it'd be a close decision. It'll probably be very controversial. I think we're still going to get a rematch next year. Speaking of rematches, well, this ain't a rematch. Before we get out of here, Hamza Shiraz will be at the fight, by the way, announced earlier today. Hamza Shiraz will be at the fight from the UK. He's flying over to see this fight in person because he wants the winner of this fight. A lot of people are rumored that him and Canelo will be getting it on next if he can get through Terence Bud Crawford, especially what Shiraz just did to the likes of Edgar Berlanga, knocking him out early. And obviously, this is Turki Al-Sheikh's guy, his high promoted guy, just like Terence Bud Crawford. But Turki Al-Sheikh's got his guy. He'll put the money up. That'll be a good fight as well, Canelo and Shiraz. I'm not sure Canelo really wants to fight him. I think he really wants the Bivol fight next if he gets past Crawford, try to get that loss he had. So, anyways, we'll see. Crawford he definitely deserves a lot more credit. Like I said, he deserves his shot. He deserves this, and he deserves this. Whether people want to say it's a payday or not, he deserves the payday, but he really deserves it based on skill set to really try this. I don't think he's gonna pull a Jermell Charlo on us. I think he's got too much pride in himself and all that. If he does pull a Jermell Charlo on us, that'll be sickening and it will really hurt the sport of boxing. But I think he has too much dog in him, too much pride. I think Crawford would rather get knocked out than knocked out fighting, by the way, going out on the shield, than look like Jermell Charlo did when he fought Canelo. No, I think it's going just right for Canelo as far as his era. He's going just right. You said Crawford doesn't lose in this fight with Canelo. It's a win-win for him. That's facts, Reno. Just going back and reading, I think I missed a couple of chats. You think Boots is the closest thing to Crawford style? Yes, he is, but not close enough. I don't think, hey, Eugene, by the way, I don't think Boots, they're two different, they got similar style, but two different caliber fighters. And DeMarcus, you said whoever wins this fight will be the winner of this fight. Facts. And Canelo era is kind of long. It is, but he's been carrying the sport. He's the big face right now. He's been bringing all the seats. He's got the big fan base. And it's Crawford's time to shine. He's going to have to come in here and earn some respect. If he walks out of this shining, win, lose, or draw, if he puts on a damn good fight and loses, and it's close, a lot of people respect him for still jumping up in that weight and challenging himself. He can earn a lot more fans and another big event. If he wins this fight, we already told you that's for greatness. That's for greatness. Adam, who I have in this fight, I mentioned a little bit ago, but I got it a draw. I got it a draw for this fight. I think they're going to split it. Early rounds 1 through 3 go to Crawford. Middle rounds going to be Canelo as he kind of lures him into some things, actually steps it up a little bit with his footwork and speed, hooks him off and keeps him in the corner. Crawford reset, start boxing a little bit better in the back half. He'll probably get clipped and knocked down, but take it towards the back end of the fight as the stamina issues kick in for Canelo. Either way, they both had too many skills, too many keys to victory to take this fight. Whenever I've seen a fight of this caliber, this kind of high IQ, it usually leads to a draw situation, especially when the kind of money is on the line. But then again, this is boxing, so we could see a knockout first round. I highly doubt it. I highly doubt either fighter gets knocked out if either fighter wins. Again, my pick is a draw. I'm going with the draw. If a fighter wins, it's going to be by decision. You say you think Crawford should stick to one stance, keep his stamina, counter. Yeah, watch out for Canelo. I agree. I think he could switch it once or twice throughout the fight, but don't be flip-flopping. Either start one way, see how it feels. Don't just flip because you got in trouble, trying to figure some things out, but flip if you're more comfortable and if it opens up things for you on Canelo. I think he's going to start in orthodox to throw off Canelo because Canelo's obviously preparing for him to fight in the southpaw stance because that's his strongest stance. I think he's going to start boxing in orthodox and switch in the middle rounds to back to southpaw as he gets more comfortable. Correct. Crawford is a 147 pounder. Technically, he did have one fight at 154, but he's really a 147 pounder. But what we hitting on earlier, in case y'all missed it, I don't really consider Canelo Alvarez a true 168 pounder. He's really a 160 pounder by size, stature, that is good and good enough that he campaigns at 168, has good, respectable power at 168, and has the skills to pay the bills to do what he's done at 168 undisputed. But naturally, he's really a 160 pounder. He's just thick boy. He's thick, dense. You got surprise. Oh, you got, okay. Adam, you got Crawford with the surprise KO. I've seen more people trying to go with that KO with Crawford. I'll tell you right now, the KO pays out for Crawford. If y'all get it, man, I will do a special video. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think either fighter gets knocked out, but it's tough. Lucky upset. You say he's getting knocked out. I think you're talking about Crawford. It's going to look like Benavidez. Now, I think Benavidez is going to do some damage in that. Or he did do damage in that Andrade fight, but I know he's got the yard fight coming up. But, yeah, Benavidez, you know, that's an interesting comparison now that you say that, because it's very similar. Benavidez and Andrade, how Andrade was always seen as that southpaw, good, tricky style fighter that was rumored to was going to give Canelo problems, trying to run him down. That's an interesting... We're going to see. It's an interesting take. Interesting take. But yeah, I still got a draw or a decision victory for either fighter. Yeah, size difference not that big. That's what a lot of people are missing. And the reach advantages to Crawford. So is the height. Just by an inch, not a whole lot. Inch and a half. But an inch and a half goes a long way in boxing, especially on the reach. But more importantly, when we talked about the bigger fighters jumping up in weight, right? Yes, he is jumping up in weight. But when that big man mentality, the big man usually beats that small little man, right? That small great man. That usually means that big man also has the height and reach advantage. In this case, Canelo only has the weight advantage. So I said all that to say Crawford actually stands a better chance than what most people are getting him. Yeah, it's going to be a draw. Hey, Boxing International NYC, I'm telling you, the draw is actually nasty. I saw it. I got to pull back up the odds, but it's like plus 16 or something crazy. I'm telling you, I put it on there. If you hit, y'all got to show me some love. Y'all got to show me some love. But in all honesty, though, I'm not just throwing it out on the draw to be just throwing it out on the draw. After watching the tape, breaking it down, seeing how these two fighters go, looking at some fights that have been similar to this and fights of this magnitude, I just keep coming back to it. That weird feeling I get, especially with the money that's behind it. It's just a weird feeling I'm getting about that draw. But outside of the draw, whoever wins, if there is a winner, it's by decision. You say you'd be very surprised if Crawford doesn't take the fight to Canelo. You can't fight Canelo. That's facts. He's got to be active. We did a video drop 2 days ago. The only way Crawford can knock out, for some people who think he can knock him out or at least beat him by unanimous decision, he's got to be active. He's got to be letting him hands go. He's got to stay on Canelo's neck. He's got to be going up and down his head. Smart and defensively sound. He's got to let his hands go if he thinks he's going to have a chance in this fight. Yeah, he's undisputed champ at 168. I agree, lucky upset. And like we started earlier, he's built different. And I actually think it's more of a testament of how great Canelo is to say he's really a 160 pounder, because he really is. But how great he is that he's undisputed at 168 pounds, because that means he's got real power. He's got real boxing IQ. He's got real high skill set. This is not an easy fight. I think a lot of people think he just relies on that power. He hasn't had a knockout in a long time, guys. He actually relies on his high ring IQ, his setting of traps. It's a smart fight, and I think he's going to surprise Crawford of how smart he is and where his ring IQ is. So I think that speaks to the level of what Canelo truly is. I think he really gets a bad rap for everybody's talking about Crawford's IQ. He thinks he's a bad rap, but Canelo's IQ is just as high. If Crawford was a knockout, will he go back or will he have that dog to continue? He'll continue. He'll get knocked down. He'll continue. Yeah, he did. He faded quick. I forgot about that Andrade fight. I'm actually go back and watch. Now that you brought that up, I'm gonna go back and watch the Benavidez Andrade. Nothing related to. I don't think it'll go like the Canelo and Terrence Crawford fight, but I gotta go back and watch that in terms of what Benavidez and the Yard fight, that Anthony Yard fight's about to look like. I'm glad you brought that up. Tune-up, I don't think he has time for a tune-up though, bro. He's like 38, Boxing International. Bud's like 38. He got to go get it. He ain't had time for no tune-ups. But now Lara would have been two different type of style fighters, but Lara might have beat. People sleeping on Lara. He's got his old man strength in him now. Lara's a problem. Lara is a problem. Yeah, if Canelo loses, it'll be a rematch or a draw. I'm telling you. Turki Al-Sheikh already mentioned, he's been dropping nuggets like the best thing that's going to happen, the next biggest fight is a rematch of this fight. How do you get to a rematch? It's either a controversial decision or a draw. Money talks for all the money. So if Andrade couldn't, within the 68 power as 160 pounder, how is Bud going to deal with it? Different style of fighter. Andrade got beat by a big 168 pounder who's now light heavyweight in the likes of David Benavidez, who throws punches and bunches. He also got clipped by a looping shot, kind of threw him off early. Styles make fights. I'm not saying Canelo wouldn't have beat Andrade. I think he would have beat Andrade fairly easily due to the style matchup, but there's two different styles of fighters. I mean, it's like the same thing as saying this, right? Canelo Alvarez didn't knock out Edgar Berlanga, but Hamza Shiraz moved up from 160 and knocked him out in fashion. Canelo Alvarez didn't knock out Jaime Munguia, but a no-name Shiraz who only has 5 knockouts in his career stopped Munguia and gave him troubles in the follow-on fight. You know what I'm saying? So styles make fights. So we just gotta wait to see how he does. Can he get stopped? Hell yeah. Canelo can knock him out. I don't put a lot of stock in it. I just put stock in, I think he can beat him by decision, unanimous, and box smart, meaning Canelo, be active, maybe get a drop here. He does drop people, but knockout, I just can't see it for either fighter. Plant just got knocked out himself. I don't put a lot of stake in Plant. You know, Plant and David have real beef, but I don't put a lot of stock in Plant. Plant has fatigue issues. But Bivol also said Canelo hits hard. So I'm not saying Canelo doesn't hit hard. I'm just saying I don't see him knocking him out. He could deter Crawford. But we'll see. That's why we got this fight, right? I think Canelo's going to surprise a lot of people with how he fights this fight. I think he's going to move a little quicker. I think he's going to change up his style, not be flat-footed. I think he's going to try to actually – he's obviously got good head movement, by the way. So Crawford's got to be careful trying to punch because Canelo's crafty and can move around and definitely slip punches. I think Canelo's just going to surprise people. I think he's going to box a little bit more on this fight. Oh, of course. Yes. I agree with you, Lucky. The fact that people think either fighter can win, and that's what naturally happens when a fight like this, because when it was first announced, nobody was giving Crawford a chance. Even I wasn't. I was giving him 15% chance of winning the fight. Still a chance. Just thought it was just too much of an upset. But if you go back and watch tape on both fighters, watch Canelo, watch Crawford, watch similar fights, you start to see that there is actually a chance for him to win. You see how Canelo gets lazy sometimes throughout the fight. His stamina breaks down. If Crawford can weather the storm, then you start breaking that into, oh, shoot, he can win. He does have skill set, but I think it's still tough. I think Canelo is the favorite, should be the favorite, better be the favorite, but Crawford has a chance to win because skills, like we talked about earlier, skills pay the bills. And if you have skills, you have a good chance to win this fight and a good chance to make a legacy for yourself and be a legend. So Crawford's not out of this fight by any means. Crawford stands a damn good chance to win this fight, but Canelo is the favorite. But like I said earlier, when it comes to skills versus skills, looking at both of these guys, they're both top of their level. I'm still betting. I mean, it's too late anyways. I already bet the draw. So I'm on the draw. I'm locked in. I just think it's too close for either fighter to win different ways. Too much money on the line. It's going to be a damn good fight. Great night of boxing, though. But Canelo should be the favorite. I don't fault anybody for thinking Canelo's the favorite. I don't fault anybody thinking Canelo's going to knock him out. Hit that like button. It's free. Hit that like button. It's free. Comment below. Subscribe. We're going to rock out for about two more minutes or so. And we're going to get up out of here. We've been on here for about 2 hours already. So we appreciate everybody that's been rocking out with us tonight, man. It's your boy Cash Road, Sign A Podcast. Thank you for rocking out. Again, it's a hobby for us. We love this topic. Floyd, we were supposed to be really only going to talk about Canelo Crawford, but Floyd Money Mayweather through an audible literally a couple hours ago. Him and Tyson are getting it on. Circus fight, but I'm here for it. It's whatever. But we talking real boxing. We got Canelo Crawford getting it on, man. Let us know who y'all got. You say you want to see Andrews. You say you want to see Crawford win, but you just can't see it. I selfishly want to see the underdog win. I go for underdog a lot in certain cases, anyways. But even if I go for them, I won't bet if I don't truly think they can win by studying tape and stuff like that. Just the analytics in me, I won't still bet, but I can root for you. In this case, I can see Crawford actually standing a good chance if somebody wanted to bet on him. The odds are actually closer now than what you would have thought. So go check out those odds. I think Crawford's only a plus 200 underdog at this point, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he's going to have to use his legs more. He's going to have to not... He gets sloppy at times. Meaning Crawford, he just likes to fight. I think he likes to get hit. Sounds weird. I think sometimes he wakes up when he gets hit. You ever see him get hit good and clean? He like sticks his tongue out, he gets excited, and he just wants to fight. He's a street dude. He likes to fight. It's kind of crazy. Hey, I appreciate you. I appreciate you rocking out. You've been here for a long time, brother. Appreciate you. Hit that like button. It's free. Comment below. Subscribe. Appreciate everybody that's been rocking out. We definitely been on for a while right now. Uh-oh. What happened to my other thing? He said, Bud, I'm going back to Boxing International NYC statement. Bud said he can't beat Canelo in an interview. Bud's doing it for the bag. Well, you got to remember that, and I know the interview you're talking about, and that is true. Bud said he wouldn't go up his weight classes for a reason. A lot of people got to remember how we actually got to this fight. You are right about the interview. By the way, that was years ago. However, two things happened. Earl was actually supposed to get the fight with Canelo first, so this is really technically Earl Spence's fight, but kind of thank goodness that didn't happen. More importantly, it was Bill Haney about a year and a half or so ago, almost 2 years ago now, that actually talked to Bud and broke it down to him after studying Canelo a few things, that actually was the one that convinced Bud to look at a few things and say, I think you can actually win this fight. Now, Bill Haney's just Bill Haney, you know, Devin Haney's father and trainer. But once that plug got put into him and showed him what they saw, they studied it. And ever since he went back and studied what they talked about between him and Bill Haney, Bud's been calling for this fight. But you are exactly correct. Years ago, he did say he wouldn't move up and wait to do this fight. But we all say a lot of things years ago, and we could see. Now, is it for the bag? I just can't see Crawford being that kind of guy. Yeah, I mean, he's obviously fighting for some money. I mean, who ain't? It's a big fight. Who doesn't want a Canelo fight? But I think Crawford truly believes between what him and Bill and him and Bo Mack have seen, I think they actually do see something. And they're not taking this fight to be a Jermell Charlo like we talked about earlier. Yeah, I agree. I don't think he can take too many hits from Canelo. That's why I think he's going to fight in the pocket but not take the hits. He's going to move out. He's going to be just in range and move in and out. Speaking of interviews, Crawford actually even stated he's not stupid. He's not going to stand there and trade, but he's not also going to run. He kind of gave away his plan. He's going to be a boxer puncher this fight. He's going to be right in range, get his off, and get out. I'm just trying to tell you. He knows he's not going to take those kind of punches, or does not plan to take those kind of punches all night. He said he can take him for Porter, Mean Machine, but not Canelo. His face is going to be, he said, a 180. Yeah, if he gets hit clean like he did against those, it's going to be a tough night. You say, hey, you know, Bill Haney, I'll just read your thing. He said, Bill wanted Crawford out of the way, 47, so Devin can move up. Hey, you know what? That's nasty work because Bill could have really did that. He didn't want Crawford around and get his son out the way. I could see Bill doing that. But Bo Mack and company wouldn't let Crawford go out there like that either. But that would be funny. A trick. Slick Bill, man. Slick Bill found a way to talk this man. Yeah. You can go do that. Go out there and get your ass whooped and get out the way. That'd be crazy. All right, y'all, man. We appreciate that love tonight. We appreciate y'all rocking out. Before we get up out of here, man, we stayed on for about 2 hours tonight, impromptu. If you can't hit that like button, it's free. Comment below as always. But more importantly, subscribe. Check out our other videos, our other breakdowns. We really appreciate y'all rocking out, man. We'll be back on probably tomorrow, do the same thing. We might even get up in the morning and just do it. We're going to try to do more lives and rock out. But check out our other videos. We got our other breakdowns for Canelo, Crawford, all the other fights, man. I appreciate y'all rocking out. Lucky, Upset, I definitely appreciate you rocking out to us. Boxing International, appreciate you for rocking out. Everybody else that showed up, Andres, definitely appreciate you guys. It's been a great night. Adam, everybody that's been on. I know I'm missing people, but again, appreciate that love, appreciate that respect. If you can, check us out, man. It's your boy Cash Rebel Sunday Podcast. It's a hobby for us. We love boxing talk, man. Anyways, we'll be back on. But until the meantime, check out other videos. Appreciate y'all love. Peace and happiness. Till next time. Peace.